Hey there guys, Botstowo here, and today what I've got for you is the Chinese TF12D prototype. Since this is a 2021 production, there's not really any history to go over, so instead I will just give you some context. This mask, as the TF in its name stands for, was made by Tongfang. That is a Chinese industrial respirator manufacturing company that apparently is dabbling in military designs. Also, yes, they did seem to borrow the kind of general silhouette from the M53 and M53A1. But that's pretty much where the similarities end. This oftentimes gets called a clone of the M53, but I don't think that's really fair. And given that this is a prototype, and honestly kind of an early one, a lot of the accessories don't actually exist yet. I wish I could show you the internal voice projection unit, but it hasn't been made, nor has there been a carrier, or even really I think the canteens are also unfinished. So, getting into the mask itself, it's made out of this very nice, rigid but still pliable rubber. I'm not sure specifically what blend it is, but it's very comfortable. Then you've got these two lenses, which breaks away from the M53, which is panoramic, of course, but these lenses are also easily replaceable, as they've got just a screw that loosens the lens frame. This is really nice because a lot of modern masks don't really have that feature. Like, for instance, the British GSR and the M45, you can't really replace their lenses. If they break, you just need a new mask. And up front here, you've got your exhale valve and diaphragm cover, because yes, this thing does have a voice emitter. The exhale valve is on the bottom half. I wish I could take this off, but I don't have a screwdriver here, so that sucks. You can kind of see it. Yeah, there's your exhale valve. Up here is your diaphragm. Yep. And behind this cover is a large hollow void, and that is to allow for an internal voice projection unit which hasn't yet been fully designed. So I don't think they actually exist yet, so we'll just have to wait before we can get a look at one. Oh, I should also mention that there are two variants of the TF12D, one with and one without a drinking tube. Mine is the one without the drinking tube. Down below that cover we were just looking at, here is the kind of residual drinking tube storage port. This is just the blanking plug unscrewing tool. Yeah, I'm just using it as a support right now. But yeah, no, this still has that even though it does not have a drinking tube. Over here, you've got the canister. This is a 40mm GOST mask, of course being Chinese, and you've got another port here. Here is your 40mm GOST port with its inlet valve inside there. I have a lot of trouble with these inlet valves actually sealing, so exhaled air does go through the filter. And here's your blinking plug. It gets removed by this little tool here. That is just 3 prongs that interface with those holes. Down here at the lower end of the face blank is your mask beard. That essentially just allows for a hood to, well, seal more easily with the mask. And here you've got your 6-point head harness. These buckles are way too tight. It's kind of a double-edged sword because, you know, on one hand it's very nice to wear, like, they don't unadjust themselves at all, but it's also a pain in the ass to adjust them, and you cannot do so without over-tensioning the head harness straps. Here is a rear view of the head harness. It's very nice. It's actually the most comfortable head harness I've ever used. This is all padded. All of it. It's all padded, so it's very comfortable. Then here you've got your donning loop down here. Just allows you to more quickly pull the head harness over the facepiece and, well, get it on your head. Now, and the final thing I want to talk about for this head harness is, well, this bottom strap. So what's special about it is it's actually completely free floating in regards to the skull cap. It just goes into this loop. It's not sewn in at all. So if you over tighten this strap, that doesn't pull the head harness over to one side. It allows it to kind of auto center by giving this strap less elastic to work with. So this auto centers very easily and very nicely. Hopefully this can kind of demonstrate what I mean by that. So here it is, completely removed from the head pad. Kind of a long strap. And well, as you can see, it's just a loop that passes through. So when you tighten it this way, it just, well, gives this side less elastic and that side more of it. Here is the interior of the mask. It's, well, unlike a lot of the masks we've been looking at lately, it's actually got features. So first thing to look at is this chin cup, which doesn't have a sweat drain. So that kind of sucks. I hope that they add this in later variants. Over here is your voice emitter. Down there, you can't see it because it's dark, is your exhale valve. And you've got this nose cup, which is a little bit tight up here, but other than that, it's very comfortable. It operates with two little valves. And something to actually note is these lenses, despite, you know, being in the same chamber as the inlet valve, fog significantly. That is due to an airflow issue. They just don't get enough air. So yeah, that fogging, if you're just sitting there not doing anything, they're not gonna fog. But as soon as you get up and start like exercising and sweating, then yeah, they are going to fog up immediately and really bad. I think part of that might be the result of these shields here beneath the lens. I believe they're meant to space the mask away from the nose cup, but they do block a lot of air from getting to these lenses, which is unfortunate. Then you've got this pretty standard peripheral seal that's just a well, rubber skirt. And that's pretty much it for the inside. Here we've got the conformal filter, which essentially just means it sits completely flush with the facepiece. And this is an A2P3 rated filter. Not really a whole lot to say about that. Here is the plug for it and the cap. The gasket is just loose inside of there. And that's all to say about that. On the left here, you've got the manual, and on the right, we've got a thing that I don't know what it means or says. Sorry about that. Now, this mask doesn't have a carrier yet. I assume if it actually gets released for military use, it will get a carrier. But for now, all we've got is this sack that it comes in. Well, there's nothing inside. It opens and closes with a cord and one of these little locks. And it's made out of very light, kind of low quality material, but it doesn't need to be high quality because this is just the bag it comes in. Anyhow, I probably need to get going and change where I'm filming this because this room is reserved and I've got about fucking 10 minutes to leave before they come and throw me out of here. So the next shot will be in an entirely different room on probably an entirely different day. I am finally back.
I recorded that last bit in October of 2021, and now it's March 11th of 2022. So yeah, I will actually get into my actual thoughts on this mask because I do have some. First, I figure I should say, if I didn't earlier in the video, it was like 6 months ago, I don't remember what I said, but I do not believe this to be a clone of the FM53. Um, like it looks like one, but that's really just cosmetic, and every single other detail and feature is completely different. So, I mean, like, they obviously took inspiration for the layout, but other than that, no, I think it's unfair to call this thing a clone of the FM53. For my actual thoughts on this mask's capabilities, I will have to say first that this mask is still experimental and subject to change, which is honestly a good thing at this point. The reason that is good is because, well, this mask does still have a very bad issue with fogging in the lenses. When you exercise with it on, the lenses will fog up really quickly and defog very, very slowly, even with a papper, because, well, somehow there's not really a lot of airflow to the lenses. I don't know how they pulled that off, but it's very difficult to defog this thing. But that is really the most major issue I have with the thing. The other stuff is kind of, not as important. Well, some of it is. Like, this thing, of course, doesn't have communications integration, which is, well, bad. Also, it doesn't have outsert support, although you can kind of jank M40 outserts onto the thing, but it's like doesn't work all that great, so I wouldn't recommend it. Uh, but at least this thing breaks away from the modern mask meme of having non-replaceable lenses, which is awesome. I'm so glad you can replace these lenses. And with the voice projection unit on the way, I think this mask is going to be a very, very good competitor for all the other masks that's out there. And especially, coming from Tongfang, it's probably not going to be all that expensive. So it's definitely something worth looking at. For Western viewers, however, uh, there is the major issue of this thing taking 40mm GOST, and it won't take NATO. So like you need a supply of sealed GOST filters, and that's not really realistic in like a prepper type scenario, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, when this thing gets finished, I would definitely keep this on your radar if you live in China or Russia or anywhere where GOST filters are common. It's definitely going to be a great fucking mask if they fix that issue with the lens fogging. I'm sure I said this in the video, but this head harness is fucking excellent. It is one of, if not the most comfortable head harnesses I've ever worn. Yeah, it's just fucking incredible. I really like this little A2P3 conformal filter. It's very compact and, well, for tear gas and stuff, this is exactly what you need. It's good shit. To summarize, this mask has the potential to become fucking awesome as long as they fix that issue with lens fogging. But for like American and European users, I would not recommend it due to the 40mm GOST thread. But for Eastern users, absolutely keep an eye out for when these release. And when they release, let me know if they still have that fogging issue. I would love to know. But yeah, that's all I have to say about these. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one, whenever that is.